In the headlines, the Foreign Affairs Minister highlights the potential economic benefits of a total lifting of U.S. sanctions against Cuba. A call to make agriculture more appealing to young people as Dominica prepares to roll out a post-Erica agriculture master plan. And Kalinagos reap the benefit of $1 million solar energy project. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Details after this. First up, the full integration of Cuba into the international community could hold significant benefits for Dominica's local private sector and the country's wider economy. Here's more.
Prime Minister Skerrit is on record as having joined his regional counterparts in calling for the complete lifting of the U.S. economic embargo on Cuba. The Foreign Affairs Minister has emphasized the importance of lifting trade and other restrictions on Cuba and what it will mean for Dominica and the wider CARICOM. She addressed a function at the State House on Wednesday night in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Dominica and Cuba.
We will continue as individual countries and as CARICOM to explore avenues for even stronger ties and investments with Cuba, following Havana's improved relations with the United States. We all recognize that the process of normalization of relations between the U.S. and Cuba would hold several implications for CARICOM and for its own relationship with Cuba. It also presents opportunities which we will assess and explore to our mutual benefit. CARICOM's private sector needs to be alive to the new business opportunities which would arise, some of which are already on offer under the Caribbean-Cuba trade agreement, and opportunities also for multi-destination tourism.
Relations between Dominica and Cuba existed long before the two countries established diplomatic ties on 18th May 1996. Since the year 2000, the DLP administration has deepened relations with Cuba. This decision has impacted positively on the development of Dominica's human resource. Over the years, scores of Dominican students have had the privilege of pursuing university education in Cuba in medicine, dentistry, psychology education, arts and literature, engineering, film, and architectural studies. In the last 6 years alone, over 40 scholarships have been offered to Dominicans by Cuba.
Cuban graduates have been making a significant contribution to Dominica's development throughout the length and breadth of Dominica within the public and private sector. The government of Cuba, through its medical cooperation program, continues to provide Dominica with the services of several Cuban medical specialists in diverse fields such as oncology, radiology, internal medicine, and optometry, currently numbering 31. Cuban medical specialists now provide daily services at the Portsmouth, Marigot, and Roseau hospitals, including service in a number of local health districts.
In other top stories, Dominica's Task Force for Reconstruction is currently developing a post-Erica agriculture master plan.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture made that disclosure on Thursday.
An agriculture sector policy study was recently completed, and an agriculture food systems development plan is nearing completion with assistance from the Food and Agriculture Organization. The Dominica Task Force for Reconstruction is working with these two policy documents, along with another study that was done by the Ministry of Agriculture in the name of Mr. Winston McLeod, to develop a post-Erica agriculture master plan.
Geist says Tropical Storm Erica exposed several vulnerabilities in the country's agriculture sector. However, agriculture is bouncing back.
Banana sector is moving quickly back to normalcy, where regional exports have commenced for plan being formulated to return to the UK market in quick time. There was a bumper crop of potatoes, Irish potatoes this season, and that subsector continues to grow. The livestock sector received a well-deserved shot in the arm, with an excess of $13 million being invested in pork and poultry and the establishment of an abattoir which has commenced production and soon to move into full operation. Tropical Storm Erica exposed some vulnerabilities in our agricultural system and taught us several lessons which need to be addressed as we endeavor to build back better as we move ahead.
Geist was speaking at the opening of the country conference on food and sustainable agriculture organized by the UWI Open Campus.
The future for agriculture looks very bright. The investment of 40,000 tissue-cultured banana plants that was imported under the ban has paid off. Farmer confidence is on the rise. Irish potato cultivation this season doubled over that of last year. Onion cultivation among lady farmers and other farmers, the cultivation techniques and production was significantly improved. The support to horticulture program grew by 30%. The London Dairy Tissue Culture Weaning and Hardening Facility and Mist Propagation Facility for fine flavored cocoa is nearing completion. After Tropical Storm Erica, within a couple of months, the smart greenhouse produced in excess of 100,000 vegetable plants for farmers.
Meantime, a UWI principal and professor is calling for Dominica to position itself to reap the benefits of a multifaceted agriculture industry. The remarks came at the opening of a two-day country conference organized by the UWI Open Campus. The conference is being held under the theme Food for Thought, ensuring sustainability through food and nutrition security and resilience in the Nature Isle.
There are all kinds of new things coming out of agriculture. In a world where people are so conscious about their health and nutrition and about using natural products, nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, these are all things. It's not only food, health and nutrition. Agritourism, big here potential, and I'm sure Dominica is cashing in on this because you're a lovely island. I will talk a little bit more. So agriculture should be seen as one of the biggest possibilities for wealth creation and employment in every society.
Sankat pointed out that agriculture has been made more appealing to young people as the Caribbean region is currently facing the phenomenon of an aging farmer population.
All our graduates in agriculture mustn't want to say they're going to work in the Ministry of Agriculture. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to train them, and I would say the first purpose, and I might be controversial, to become successful entrepreneurial farmers using technology to the highest so that they can really bring this value proposition to the fore. Educated, thoughtful people, just like any other professional, getting out there and really earning money and creating wealth. We've got to make agriculture attractive. And so you've got to publicize what you do and promote what you do and do it in such a way that they want to get involved as entrepreneurs.
The UWI professor says that international organizations also recognize the importance of the agriculture industry to a country.
We know that the world has said number 2 in the priority of the Sustainable Development Goals for the millennium is one of ending of hunger, achieving food security, improve nutrition, promote sustainable agriculture. No, those are great words by United Nations. How do we convert those words to actions day in, day out? And I go back. The only way those words are going to be translated into the action is to support our farming community.
Onto the Kalinago territory, where a recently completed $1 million project is already improving residents' quality of life.
The Kalinago Solar PV project was facilitated by the Ministry of Kalinago Affairs along with the Kalinago Council with the endorsement of the Ministry of Health and the Environment. The project was implemented by the DCH Solar Giga GmbH from Germany. The solar farm was recently connected to Domlec's grid in the Kalinago territory, and the benefits of solar energy are already being seen by several public buildings.
It's $1 million issue of the project where we have the solar farm being established in Gullet River. Also, we have public structures like the health centers. We have 2 health centers, the Kalinago Council office, the Kalinago Barana Ote, the library that is currently making use of solar energy, and they are benefiting from this.
Residents have been told to expect economic relief through this project.
We also have individuals within the community who are not too far from the Domlec grid, but getting electricity to them using the Doobleh grid is kind of costly and very expensive. So we have supplied them with some of the single panels. It's going to bring an economic relief on them, because what we are going to do is to submit a list of at least 150 individuals, so that when they go to pay their electricity bill, their names will show up on the screen and they would have to pay quite a bit less than what they're currently paying.
The state of the country's preparedness for this coming Atlantic hurricane season will be up for discussion when the National Emergency Planning Organization, NEPO, meets on Friday.
The meeting comes in anticipation of the start of the hurricane season in June. It's predicted that out of the 12 named storms, 5 could develop into hurricanes. 2 of these hurricanes could likely rank from categories 3 to 5. Hurricanes reaching Category 3 and higher are considered major hurricanes because of their potential for significant loss of life and damage. The Office of Disaster Management has been formulating its preparedness plan for the past 5 months. All committees of NEPO have reportedly met to look at their roles and to begin to put preparedness and response measures in place. The ODM has also met with emergency services, media managers, and telecommunications providers over the past few weeks. A Hurricane Preparedness Week has also been planned from May 29 to June 4. Following that, the ODM will host a series of training and community outreach activities. Several training activities in shelter management and initial damage assessment have been conducted. NEPO usually meets ahead of the start of the hurricane season.
A 17-man team is currently working to rehabilitate the collapsed section of the Doobleh Road. The road continues to erode. The most recent incident was on Wednesday. Idona John Baptist went on the site of the project and filed this report.
In the next 9 weeks, weather permitting, a project to reconstruct the collapsed section of the Doobleh Road will be completed. The men have been on the job for the past 3 weeks. The project will cost in the region of $1,114,000. I'm here with the contractor, Mr. George Nanton of George Trucking and Excavating Services. Mr. Nanton, how are things going so far?
Well, so far we're going okay. Just that the one we get a little rain, which will hinder us, but I think we're going okay. I just know we are freaks since we start, and we have all our bases in place already. So now it's time to put up the stem wall.
Barring bad weather, Nanton says the works will be completed on time.
The main challenge there is anytime it rains, the water runs down the road, and that keeps coming down. The side of the mountain is coming down. The road is collapsing there. So we need to move really quick there.
Okay, so as it relates to the part of the road that's collapsing, what is the plan for there?
Well, as soon as we do the retaining wall, we're going to backfill to reinstate the road. The main thing was to get out of the riverbed, and then most of our foundation is in place, so not much problem again.
Only a single lane is available on that part of the EO-Libla highway to accommodate traffic. There will be further inconveniences posed to motorists as the project progresses, and a diversion into the Doobleh village is being considered.
But you still need to do some repairs on that Doobleh link before we can divert them there. So we're hoping that we get the wall up before that need come to pass. I don't think we should, because for the big trucks, they're not going to be able to pass inside Doobleh. So we must pray God that the weather give us a break and we can reach our goal there.
How unstable is this foundation?
The type of material that is underneath the road right there is fill material, and it has a lot of clay, so then when it rains and the water seeps in the crack, it will come down. So the retaining wall, that's what it needs now to keep it up. That's what is there, that's what we're working with. But then we're going to fill back with tarish. We'll compact it in layers and fill back to the top.
By the middle of next week, Nanton says 2 retaining walls will be up. The company was given a 12-week deadline to complete the job. Idona John Baptist reporting for Channel 5 News.
Coming up, technology's critical role in building the private sector. Welcome back. The Dominica-China Friendship Bridge will be the main exit out of the city effective Monday, May 23, as new traffic arrangements are introduced in light of the upcoming West Bridge project.
Since the bridge will be demolished, the traffic department wants to rearrange bus stands and implement one-way on certain streets. As a result, on May 23rd, the Dominica-China Friendship Bridge will only accommodate traffic leaving the city. Motorists are being asked to look out for new traffic signs.
Motorists leaving the city on approaching the intersection of Riverbank and Great George Street will turn left on Riverbank. So once you intend to leave the city using Great George Street, you will turn left on Riverbank. And you will continue moving in a westerly direction on Riverbank until you get to the Chinese Friendship Bridge. There you will make a right turn, and that takes you onto the Eo-Leblanc Highway. Motorists that are driving along Kings Lane moving north, when you get to the intersection of Kings Lane and Riverbank, you take a left turn.
That means that Riverbank will only allow for one-way traffic to leave the city through the Dominica-China Friendship Bridge. Vehicles traveling on Riverbank which do not wish to exit the city can make a left turn on Old Street, that's the street known as Washington. There will also be a no right turn on Riverbank for vehicles traveling on Hanover Street. They will be allowed to move straight onto the Dominica-China Friendship Bridge. And those driving on this part of Riverbank coming from the market will only be allowed to make a left on the bridge. In addition, if you would like to re-enter Roseau after exiting on the China Friendship Bridge, you can make a right onto St. Johnston's Avenue and a left onto Stieber Street to bring you to Independence Street. Please note that these changes will take place on the 23rd of May. More information on additional traffic changes in a subsequent newscast. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
A local think tank and research institute is currently undertaking a major project as it observes its first anniversary. Create Caribbean Inc. was established at the Dominica State College last year. The most current project which the think tank is working on is titled Imagine Homeland, a website which showcases Dominica's literary geographies. The aim is to find all novels where Dominica is used as a setting and digitally map them out so that people can experience a novel through the website. Create Caribbean Inc. provides, among other things, academic research support, internships and consultancy services to all sectors of society, including students, public and private sector institutions, and community organizations.
We have had one major national project launch. It's a research project called dominicahistory.org, and we launched that last year during the Independence season for History Week, and it was a collaboration with the Division of Culture, and that was a very important moment for me because my work is in Caribbean cultural studies, my personal research area, and so I was very happy to collaborate with the division on this project. It's actually going to be an annual event where we add content to this site for primary and secondary school students based on the History Week theme for that year. So that's one of the big milestones for us.
Another one of the milestones is a specialized program catering to young children to help develop their potential in technology.
And we also have a kids tech program called Create and Code, and Create and Code is our children's program for technology. It introduces students to making apps, games, and websites, and those are for children ages 7 to 14. And we do one-day workshops where they focus on one thing for all day long, and it brings together their technology and STEM skills, as well as their creative and social awareness skills.
ESPRI cites management of resources as one of the main challenges affecting this local think tank.
As with most projects in a context like Dominica, managing resources is a big challenge for us all the time. And this is the real test of innovation, because we are meant to do a lot and we have high ambitions and we have to try to achieve those with limited resources. So it's always a challenge, but it always pushes us to think of new ways to do things or new resources we can tap into. So that is a big challenge for us, of course, and we would like to see more funding and more clients and more work coming in, but at the end of the day, I think that's our biggest challenge.
Create Caribbean Inc. places emphasis on using digital technologies to conduct and display research, which is in direct response to the growing ICT-focused culture in the Caribbean. The Dominica Manufacturing Association says manufacturers must embrace technological advances to improve the sector. Public Relations Officer of the association, Severin McKenzie, told the launch of a new line of local products by Jolly's Pharmacy on Wednesday that greater investment in the sector will help create jobs.
We in the Dominica Manufacturers Association are very much interested in advancing the manufacturing sector. And we are convinced that with the investment in machinery, with machines, with chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, graphic artists, salespersons, quite a number, we have the potential of creating real jobs for Dominicans.
Meanwhile, McKenzie said the absence of a packaging plant continues to pose challenges for the manufacturing industry.
We have some challenges with the manufacturing sector in Dominica, and one of them is the absence of some infrastructure, namely a packaging plant where we could actually get our packaging done to the type of, as attractive as we would like. So when you have to bring in all the packaging for your manufactured products, the cost of the products usually go up. But we are hoping that in the not too distant future, some of these hurdles will be overcome, and we are hoping that many more people will in fact invest in the manufacturing sector to create real jobs.
That's news, sports highlights, next. In sports highlights, the Dominica Umpires Association speaks out on the recent issues with umpires at cricket matches where games were called off or delayed as a result. Public Relations Officer Billy Doctorow says the association takes responsibility for what has been happening.
We as an association, we are very committed towards professionalism within our association. So we felt we had a meeting and we looked at quite a few other issues affecting us as an association, and we took a decision whereby we had to suspend the umpire because we believe that his actions were unacceptable and lacked professionalism as an umpire. We're saying that in the interest of fair play and justice, we would recommend to the Cricket Association that we play that game. We are not saying in any way that we condone the actions of the team for not taking the field because of that umpire being appointed, because no team has a right to refuse to play because of whoever is appointed to do the game. But we believe the circumstances were exceptional and unique, and we believe that a bit of discretion should be exercised.
Doctorow says appointing umpires, the games will no longer rest on the shoulder of the secretary, and the association will facilitate a replay of the match for free.
So we're taking full responsibility, and we have even agreed to do the match free of charge. There were certain issues with appointments, so we had to change, we had to take off that responsibility from the individual concerned, and right now appointments will be handled by the secretary, by the treasurer and the president of the Dominica Cricket Umpire Association.
The PRO says a formal report will be sent to the Dominica Cricket Association on the matter in the next 2 days. Meantime, Secretary of the Association, Joseph Thomas, has been relieved of his duties since he failed to comply with directives from the executive body. Doctorow says it's unfortunate it had to come to this.
And we issued certain directives and instructions to the Secretary, and flatly refused to accept those instructions. So we told him that if he refuses to accept instructions and directives from the executive, he can no longer function as Secretary. And because we believe that no one person is bigger than the organization. So he left the meeting that we were involved in. He left and he came back soon after with all our files. He dropped our files for us and he walked out again. And the next day he sent us a one-line email saying that he's no longer Secretary of the association.
Meanwhile, former Secretary of Dominica Umpires Association, Joseph Thomas, says he feels his action was justified.
I was told, hey, look, when we need to get correspondences going, you can forward those correspondences to the president or to somebody for onward printing. And I said I wasn't going to do it. And I was told, well, look, if you do not want to operate that way, if you do not want to forward correspondences for onward printing, you know, you have the option, either leave or carry out our instructions. And I figured that wasn't the way to go. To get the secretary
some ink for his printer, to get him a rim of paper, to get him a pack of envelopes so that he can, you know, do his work. You know, are you saying that is too much and you want to save cost on that? But if you have to print by somebody else's office or somebody else's house, it's going to cost them some money. So if it can cost them some money, why is it can't cost the association some money?
In football, national football coach Shane Marshall says the commitment of players to the sport is poor and things cannot be business as usual if Dominica is to make a major impact on the regional or international scene. His comments come after a series of poor turnout at practice sessions recently ahead of Dominica's friendly match against St. Vincent on Friday and Sunday.
In all, I have on my paper like 42 players that's supposed to be coming to practice. And sometimes you only get like 12, sometimes 13. There was one particular Saturday I went, we usually train at Stockfarm on Saturdays, and it's like, I think 5 or 4 players that was there. And we were supposed to start at 4. And it's only, I'm a person, I stick to time. You understand? I stick to time. And only 4 players are to be waiting to see who come in again for us to start. And when we do start training, we ended up with, I think, about 13 players.
Marshall says while he understands the challenges that some footballers face, more can be done to encourage them to remain committed.
Our national players, honestly, there are some of them that do construction. It's tough for them. And when you're self-employed, it's difficult. And a man not going to get a day's work, and he might have a child or 2 children to feed, and you have bill to pay, you have clothing to get for himself. He's not going to leave that where he's making $100 for his day and come to train on that day when we're training. Or sometimes even if we train, yes, in the evening and he leave in work at 4, 6, but sometimes the type of work you do for the day, he can't get all in practice. He can't give you all. So there is something I always say, you know, I mean, the DFA maybe should try to link with the government or, you know, whatever, to especially national players, to try to take care of them, you know, try to get care for them. I mean, okay, you know, somebody doing construction, they're making $100 a day. If we could offer them maybe 60 or 70, I mean, to come and do what they love, I think we can get somewhere. But all the time, I mean, money is always key, and everybody needs money. And anytime you see money not involved, people always kind of take a backseat.
In cricket, it will be out with the old and in with the new as Castle Bruce and Goodwill Secondary battle for the 2016 First Domestic Insurance Secondary School Under-15 cricket title. Friday's competition will feature the likes of leading all-rounder Malachi Xavier with 102 runs and Dion Williams 118. First Domestic Insurance sponsored the league for the first time to the tune of $10,000. The game is carded for Gardens at 10 a.m. The Isaiah Thomas Secondary was last year's champion. Still in cricket, Gujarat Lions defeated Kolkata Knight Riders by 6 wickets in the 51st edition of the 2016 Indian Premier League on Thursday. KKR batted first and posted 124 for 8. Yusuf Panther scored 36 and Robin Uthappa 25. Dwayne Smith took 4 for Gujarat Lions. Lions in reply scored 125 for 4. Suresh Raina 53 not out and Aaron Finch 26. That's all the time for sports. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next. We'll now hear from our friends at the Met Office for the latest in weather.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Korea. Today, a high pressure system was a dominant feature, which resulted in generally partly cloudy skies across the region. Earlier, visible satellite imagery showed just a few low-level clouds and also some high-level clouds across Dominica. Earlier, radar imagery indicated widely scattered showers across the eastern Caribbean. The weather tonight is expected to be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers. Similar conditions are expected for tomorrow with also some breezy conditions expected. The marine conditions tomorrow will be moderate and waves are expected to be up to 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers, please do exercise caution. Let's take a look now at the weather for the weekend. Tomorrow, Friday, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers. On Saturday, a weak trough is expected to move across the area, hence some cloudy skies can be expected with some showers, and a general improvement is expected on Sunday. Partly cloudy skies with some scattered showers expected. The weather for the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies are expected across the region with some scattered showers. On the international scene, beautiful clear skies for New York, Caracas and Beijing, and some partly cloudy skies expected for Miami and London. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:35 a.m. and will set at 6:29 p.m. Feel free to visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
To end the news, a recap of the headlines. The Foreign Affairs Minister highlights the potential economic benefit of a total lifting of U.S. sanctions against Cuba. A call to make agriculture more appealing to young people as Dominica prepares to roll out a post-Erica agriculture master plan, and Kalinagos reap the benefits of $1 million solar energy project. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Kenny Williams. To our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.